All right, guys, you know who it is. Midwest Tool Review here, back again. So, you want to warranty a Snap-on tool. Let's say, for instance, you broke a screwdriver or you broke a pick. You have a damage, it's a damaged tool in general. And you say, I want to warranty this out, but I don't have access to a tool truck. So this video is going to be very brief, but yet detailed enough to help you submit your warranty to Snap-on. So the very first thing you want to do is you want to email Snap-on there, nccc support@snapon.com. Okay, they're going to give you a claim request number, which is shown there. That's what they're going to sign on the response. This is a response email back to me, or initially out, but it's a chain of emails. So disregard the number, but you will be assigned that number. You're going to say, "Dear customer care, we would like to request a replacement for the following item or items." Okay. You're going to list the part number there, the type of tool that it is. This was a 1/2-inch drive, 6.58 drive, flint drive, shallow socket. The reason for the return, it had flaking chrome. It was poor fitment with the ratchet anvil. Okay. From where were the tools purchased? You can say off a tool truck, previously purchased off a tool truck in your city. You don't have to go into great detail. You give your full name, your email address, the part numbers and quantity, which are shown above. So I always just simply say see above. Your street address, because they have to know where to ship it to, city, state, province, etc., and then your phone number. One of the other things that they don't ask for, but I like to supply them with, is a picture of the damaged tool. And like I'll show you guys here on my PC. Here was an example of a wrench that was damaged that I received. And it was 14 millimeter. It was part of, there's my cat there. It was part of, not that drawer, of this set here. And I needed to warranty that out. So I took a picture of it and I supplied that along with the email. Personally, I like to do that because what that demonstrates to Snap-on is that, hey, not only is he giving us the information, but he's also showing us a picture of it. And in my mind, it helps expedite the process. I learned to do that working with SK. It seemed to help SK process the claims a lot easier. I never had any pushback or rejection or questions. Simply, they always accepted my returns. But I feel like it makes me more, because I don't know what level of detail or evaluation they actually do. My assumption is they're going to evaluate every tool that's returned to them for replacement or repair, and then they are going to determine essentially if it's a valid claim. So I try to give them as much information up front as possible to help provide validation to what I am claiming or what I'm requesting a replacement tool for. After all, a simple pick like this may be $10, maybe $20. Case in point, I'll show you guys if I can find it here. One of these screwdrivers, or let's go with this pick here. This particular pick was warrantied out, but this pick is like $35 or $30, somewhere around about there. But it's expensive, so you can imagine. Now multiply that times 4, you're sitting at 3, 6, 9, 12, so $120 worth of tools just in this warranty pile here. Not to mention all of the other tools that I had to get warrantied out. So that's a lot of money. Yeah, you can use it. That's a lot of money to be, or a lot of product and value to be returning or simply just giving a warranty claim to willy-nilly. Yes, I did say willy-nilly. So I try to give them as much information as possible. You don't want to abuse this process, okay? Let's assume that they are not evaluating the tools appropriately. Please, I beg you, do not send them tools just because it's slightly worn or there's a little bit of wear. and you say, well, you know what, this socket is not as pretty as it once was, so I want to return it. A good example of that would be like this socket here. Say, for instance, a fella wanted to get the newest version of this, and he says, well, you know, this socket's not fitting right, or it's damaged, or whatever the case may be, and just send this in. And Snap-on, being as good as they are at customer service, would simply say, okay, yeah, he's put a claim in, and send you a new one. That's going to hurt the warranty process for the rest of us. Only send in tools that are truly defective based upon workmanship, quality, or failure of design. The socket that I sent in here had flaking chrome, which could be dangerous. It could chip off and hit you in the eye. Poor fitment. The anvil in here is a fairly new socket, so I really don't know what was the issue with that one. But the anvil portion here, every time I try to install it onto the ratchet, it would not fit. Well, it would fit, but it would go like halfway down, and I would have to really force it in. And I thought it was the ball detent on the ratchet, so I oiled that up, but that wasn't the case. And I can see on the ratchet or the socket itself, there were scratches, deep scratches from the anvil trying to install it. So I says, well, you know what? That's something that's a workmanship issue. We're going to send that back. And that's what I sent back. Clearly with the wrench that I showed you guys there, it broke. That was a workmanship or a design defect as it relates to the ductility of the metal. So it broke. It was on the box end. You can't put a lot of torque on the box end anyway. So that was just a defective tool. But I warrantied that out. But I beg you guys, do not just send them stuff just to get a new tool. This video does not support that. I strongly advise against that type of mentality. Only send these guys what truly needs to be sent in. And if you look, you guys know my channel. I buy everything secondhand. Some stuff I buy new. Let me change that. The majority of stuff I buy secondhand. So if you look in any spot in my box, there's my cat there. What's up, dude? He's like, I don't know, 15 years old. Still a good cat. But if you look in my box here, most of my tools are used. I mean, they have their flaws, they have their wear, but they're great tools. I am not going to pile these things up in a box, ship them over to Snap-on just to get the latest and greatest, prettiest tool. I'm going to use it, and then when it fails, I'm going to verify that it has a lifetime warranty, and if it does, then I'll request it. And what I do is I use things, and over time I let things kind of pile up, or I'll set it off in the box, or I'll be digging through and I'll find it, and I say, oh, that's right, I need to send that in for a warranty claim. And then that's what I'll do. And I've never had an issue with Snap-on, SK, or Matco whatsoever as it relates to accepting my claims. And they do have the right to reject or deny your claim. So let's not be ambiguous about that. They can reject your claim and send that tool right back to you if it's invalid. Other tools I get in, that's not a good example. Other tools I get in, here's an old Cornwell socket. It's old. I don't know what the latest model and design is of this, but what I do is I take it and I clean it up. There's nothing wrong with this socket whatsoever. There's no way I would ever package this thing up and send it to Cornwell for replacement. So if there's nothing wrong with the tool, I'm going to use it. I don't care how old it is. And then when and if it ever fails in my lifetime, I'll warranty it out. And I've got Snap-on tools, SK tools all over the place. And I send in what needs to be sent in, and the things that don't need to be warrantied out, I don't warranty them. They're just respecting the American-made tool companies. If this was maybe China, maybe different. I don't care about Chinese tools. I hate Chinese tools. Taiwan, I give a little bit more respect to Taiwanese-made tools, but China tools, I don't have them. I don't want them in my box. I don't need them. So not to disrespect anybody who does have them. I just personally don't want them. I don't like China whatsoever anyway, with everything that's going on. You guys know what I'm talking about. But anyway, I like to respect American tool companies that are truly providing us with American-made products that are built by your neighbor, my neighbor, built right here in the great USA of America, United States of America. So respect the warranty process. But what you're going to do, type up your email, you insert your pictures, you're 100% honest about what you're claiming to be the problem. Be honest. And put that all in the information here, provide the pictures, email them off. In about, I'm going to see if I can go to my email here. And don't you guys get fancy on me here and try to see. Let me turn that down here because I don't want you guys getting into my private information. So let's see here. How am I going to do that? You'll get an email response back and it'll say, oh, that's not the right one. Hang on. Let's try this again, James. You're going to get an email response back that says, hey, James, thank you for contacting us. We've entered a warranty request. Here's your case number. We're going to provide you with the prepaid shipping label within the next 24 to 48 hours. You're going to package that puppy up, and you're going to return it to us. Now, that's phase 2 of it. So they're going to email you a UPS label. You're going to print that out, and I'm trying to see. Let me turn that down here again because I don't want my email being exposed. Hang on a second here. UPS. I'm trying to see if I can get you guys a picture of what it looks like. So you'll get a email like this. It'll have that. You'll click on get shipping label. It'll pop up the UPS website. You're then going to, the label's unavailable because I've already used it. But it'll be an option there to print the label out. You're going to print the sheet of paper out. You're going to cut out the UPS label and you're going to fix it to your carton and you're going to ship it out. And essentially, if I have a box over here, let me block out my information here. Essentially, it's going to look like that, but like a paper version of it. And you're going to tape it to the box and you're going to send them out. Okay. In about 1 or 2 weeks, you're going to get your stuff back in or a new tool back in. And it's going to come in one of these beautiful boxes that arrives on your porch that says Snap-on. And you're going to be very happy. And they truly do appreciate your business. So, and then you'll have your replacement tool. Subsequently, what we had happen here. So that's the process, guys. It is simple as that. Snap-on is very responsive. Once you email them initially, their response back is well within 24 hours. Sometimes, depending on what time of day it is, you may even get the response back that same day. It does take about a day to get the shipping label that they're going to email you. You don't have to have a specialized printer. You can print it off on any dot matrix printer or whatever the hell it's called, and cut it out and then tape it to your box and you're good to go. I like to use, depending on the size of the tool, I use one of these, envelopes here. I'll use the bigger ones or a smaller one. I buy these at the Dollar Tree or Dollar General or whatever discount dollar place you guys have in your state. And I buy a bunch of these, and that way, if I ever need them, I can just grab one and package the tool up and ship her out. And that works really well. So I have 2 weeks, that I expect that it's going to be out and about, and then it'll come back. There's times where Snap-on, I'll give you an example. I shipped a part out for replacement to Snap-on, let's say December 21st. Got their part back on Christmas Eve. That's how quickly they responded on that claim. Sometimes they're very quick. Sometimes they're fairly quick. I've never waited an exorbitant amount of time. I think the longest I've ever waited is because the item was on back order, which I do have an item on back order currently, was like 2, maybe 3 weeks for the item to show up. But for the most part, it's within a week or a week and a half you get the item. And that works. You don't need a tool truck to make this all happen. And if you're any sort of mechanic or DIYer, you're smart enough to know that you're going to have multiple of tools, right? So if something goes down, I would love to think that you have more than a single one of the items that you're warranting out. Case in point, here's my socket jar. Okay,
I got everything you can imagine in that jar. Swivels, shallows, mid lengths, deeps, impacts, no chrome. Well, I got one set of Snap-on chromes, but I don't do chromes anymore in that box. Over here, so you got everything in there, 1/2 inch, 3/8, no quarter. In this jar, we got 1/2 inch drive, shallows and deeps, 3/8 drive, shallows, deeps, mids, chromes, 12 points, 6 points, quarter drives, 6 points, 12 points. I have everything. I have extra ratchets. So in the event that somehow in the magical world of things that are, I broke every ratchet in that jar, I can come right over here, grab a new ratchet. My point being that this process works because you don't have a single tool. You more than likely have multiple tools. So therefore, if something does break, you have the ability to go to your other tool and grab it and put it into use until you get your favorite tool back. The process works flawlessly. Be honest. Don't try to pull a fast one on these guys. You're going to get caught. And if you get caught, they're gonna reject your claim, and they're probably gonna put you in a list of people to look out for in the future for false claims. Don't be that guy or that girl. Be honest. Submit objective evidence to support your claim when you in fact can. It makes you look better. It helps support the claim, and hell, it may even make the process a lot faster. I don't know for 100% certainty of that, but I would think that anytime you provide objective evidence, it helps support your position. And then just sit back and wait for your new tool to come in. I hope this video helps. If you guys have any other questions, the process for SK Matco are all the same. So I think with Matco, I called them and they sent me a new tool. I don't think and they told me to keep the old tool. Oh, that's another part of it. Woo, thank God I remember that. Sometimes Snap-on will tell you to keep the tool as opposed to returning it. That does happen on occasion. Not all the time, as you saw there. I have a plethora of emails, and sometimes they tell you to ship my tool back. But there are times where Snap-on will say, hey, send me the tool back, or keep the tool, and we'll just send you out a replacement. Here's a good example of one. This is a Snap-on breaker bar. As you see, the little piece here broke, the lug or whatever, or the bar. I contacted Snap-on, gave them the part number right there, and they sent me a new breaker bar, and they didn't ask that I return this one. And I think primarily that was due to the fact that this is fairly heavy, and they probably have like a minimum or a maximum weight that they'll be willing to prepay shipment for. So if it's heavy or a breaker bar, excuse me, that may exceed the weight. And then they just say, well, you know what, rather than have that shipped back and we ship a new part to you, we'll just cut our costs in half, and you keep the old one and we'll ship you out a new one. I don't know. I can't be 100% certain of that process, but that's what I believe to be the fact. But once again, just be honest, provide the evidence. That's the process. Fairly simple. 2 weeks waiting time maximum. Easy peasy. You have to drive to the local UPS center, or you can arrange for pickup from your house on your computer. You don't even have to go anywhere. You can respect the shelter-in-place requirements per state, and you can have UPS show up at your front door, retrieve the package, and you don't even have to drop it off to them or an approved UPS center. So I hope this video helps out, guys. It's 18 minutes. It's super long, but it is super important because for people who don't have access to the tool truck, this is your way to get your tools warrantied out. And the process is great. After all, some people have to wait a week or two for the Snap-on guy to show up. I mean, most places they show up every week, but sometimes I've heard stories of the Snap-on guy being on vacation or whatever the case may be, and he's not there for 1 or 2 weeks as well. So I would say this process is fairly close to what you would experience in any garage. Don't believe that hype where you break a tool and the Snap-on guy is going to show up in 24 hours or show up in 24 hours and bring you a new tool. That ain't always how it works. Sometimes you must wait until he comes back around again. So you're smart, you have an extra tool in place, and you use that until you see the guy again. This happens, you break a tool at home, you send it out, you have a replacement tool, you use that until your new tool shows back up at your house. Fairly simple. Hope you guys enjoy the video. Hit that like button. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Check us out on Instagram at Midwest_tool_review. Leave me a comment. Support the channel. Bring your friends, your family. Tell them to all come check out the Midwest Tool Review channel. And let's get our subscribers up to 2,000 subs. Thank you guys. Love you all. Have a good night.